right, hey guys, I'm here with Justin Moe, who is the product manager on this particular machine. And from what I understand, this department is your baby, right?
Oh, absolutely. Recently new to Coyote, but I'm taking over the construction side. So right now we have the skid steer loaders and right here the track loader. So that'd be our TL750 for the track loader and our SL750 would be the skid steer.
You'll have to talk me through a little bit.
Absolutely. All right, so basic controls for this is a ISO pattern machine. So pretty industry standard. So your left joystick there will be all of your drive controls. So forward, back, side to side.
Okay.
Your 2-speed button will be on the front. Right now you're in the first speed, which should be good for what we're doing right here.
Got it.
So that'll be for your loader controls. So I don't know if you run like a tractor or something like that.
Yeah.
Same kind of pattern for the loader, like tilting.
So lifting up, and then is this your cutter?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, all of our auxiliary controls are right in the joystick here. So when you're ready to go, lap bars are down, you'd hit that green button. That'll unlock the machine for you. The auxiliaries are already activated. So
So the green button will unlock it to be able to run it. Okay.
Yep, to run the machine.
Do I need to put it in any kind of clutch or anything, or
Nope.
no?
Nope. It's all hydrostatic, so it's just on demand.
Okay, got it.
So, yep, once you're ready to go, I'll have you bring the door down.
Okay.
Which is just undoing these two latches, so you'll unlock those.
Okay.
And then those two thumb right there to bring it down. And this will be your RPM control here, so your engine dial. We also have a foot pedal down there if you want it a little more on demand.
I gotcha. Okay.
So when you're ready to run the attachment, you click on this button, it turns on the attachment. When you're ready to turn it off, you just click it again, and it'll turn it on.
Got it.
Sweet.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, I'll let you get a feel for the machine here.
Okay.
This unit right here, specifically the TL750, it's really going into that largest size class we see in the market. That's gonna be that 74 horsepower machine sitting around that 2,300 pounds of lift capacity, you know, that 10.5 feet of dump height that you can get into those tri-axle, quad-axle dump trucks really easily. So speaking of that, vertical lift arms on this machine and all of our machines is standard. Really nice, specifically for loading trucks. So radial arms, the arm comes out like this, but when you bring it up to that max height, it sits a little behind the cab, so it's a little tricky to dump into trucks.
Yeah.
Vertical lift arm like this, you have a consistent lift path going straight up.
Okay.
So you get that reach at your top lift height, you're easily able to dump in the middle of that trailer or that dump trailer.
So can you tell me a little bit about the controls on the inside of the equipment and just like the setup on the inside of the cab?
Absolutely. So we do have a fantastic setup on the cab, especially for a guy like me. I'm 6'3". I usually don't think compact equipment very well. This was a really pleasant surprise when I came on the Coyote team. I got in it. I have plenty of room to move around in there. The big thing we did well, we have a lot of length, even more so. We got a lot of width in that cab. So usually you go down to the footrest down, you know, where you set your feet.
Yeah.
You have a little narrow space. It's hard to fit in there if you have size 13 boots on.
Yeah.
With this, we have very wide open space down there. You can adjust your feet where you need them. My knees hurt half the time. So that's nice to be able to adjust my legs around and get comfortable in the cab.
Yeah.
So to go with that comfort, you know, on our cab machines, those come with HVAC. Keep those operators comfortable during the day. Other things as well, those hydraulic pilot controls, just because they're really easy to finesse and really easy to control, that can bring down the operator fatigue at the end of the day. They're not having to be really nitpicky, trying to, you know, compensate for any lag in software with the electric over hydraulic system. It's a little nicer for them at the end of the day. That excavator roll-up door, you gonna roll right up. You can talk to, your labor, your guys you're working with very easily. If you want to run basically open canopy, you can make your machine do that really quick. Where other manufacturers, if it's a swing open door,
Yeah.
you got to take off the door.
Or you could be shut down for business if you can't open the door if the equipment shuts down. So that's definitely the way to
Very
go.
true. Very true. That's a very good point. Yeah, I mean, I've even encountered, you have a big piece of clay in your bucket, you tip it back too far. Oh gosh, it's leaning against the door. And you go call somebody to have that piece of clay
come get me
out
out of here, please.
This one, you can just pop open the door right there. So, yeah, another point of versatility and comfort for the operator. And one other thing as well is we have side lap bars. Some guys have overhead ones.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen it, with some older operators, they have shoulder troubles or that's really uncomfortable to try to reach up and bring it over. Ours, very simple. Just lap bars that come down off the sides. You want to get out, just pop them up real quick.
Okay, that's great. And going back to on the engine on this, this being a 74 horse, this one have to use DEF or not? On
this one does not have to use DEF. So that's really nice thing with our aftermarket treatment we have in there. We don't have any AdBlue or any diesel exhaust fluid, anything like that.
Gotcha.
When we start going into that higher horsepower class, we can start expecting some of that. But that comes with the higher horsepower, the higher performance.
Sure.
But yeah, as of right now, this one, and when we go into lower horsepower, we won't have any of that AdBlue.
Gotcha. And could you tell me a little bit about the capacity, like lifting capacity on this particular unit?
Absolutely. So this unit right here, rated operating capacity is going to be 2,300 pounds.
Okay.
So how that works within the industry, you got to watch out for it a little bit. So skid steers are rated differently than track loaders. Skid steers, the rated operating capacity is rated at 50% of the tip load. And what that tip load is the manufacturer will keep lifting loads up until the machine starts tipping up. That's their kind of limit for their tip load. So rated operating capacity is really a metric for, your ISO standard kind of safe rated load. So your machine isn't tipping. So 50% on skid steers. When you go into track loaders is 35% of the tip load.
Okay.
So just, something to be aware of. And we talk with, some of these new customers that are getting into these for the first time, just making them be aware that, hey, it's rated a little different when you go from a skid steer to a track. One of the big things we found going into this industry is versatility is huge. So today we have a land leveler on this machine. Pretty basic attachment. You see it a lot in landscaping, doing finish grading, especially with black dirt, soil, things such as that. But we have a wide variety of attachments we're coming out with. We got snow blowers, angle brooms, sweepers, everything you really need to make this machine as versatile as possible.
Gotcha.
So that was one of the big things we found is, these aren't just, pallet fork or bucket machines anymore. Contractors are expanding the work they're doing, and one of the things they need is, different attachments to do these specific jobs. And a part of that too is labor shortages have been really hard. So you can't have a big crew of guys with wheelbarrows and shovels digging trenches really anymore. Usually now you're moving to track loaders with a trencher to bring in that labor pool, and also to keep your current operators and your current labor really happy. I think anybody would choose a track loader over a shovel any day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So with that, again, versatility, we have that standard skid steer style coupler on there. So on our cab machines, it actually comes with a hydraulic quick attach as standard. Canopy machines, it comes with a mechanical, but we do have the option that we can aftermarket install a hydraulic coupler there. So really easy hooking up attachments, things such as that. And moving into the attachment coupler block, we have our 14-pin electrical connector standard on all our machines. So run those snow blowers, those angle broom, stuff such as that. You don't have to get a wiring kit or anything like that. The machine's already wired for it, ready to go.
Yeah.
So pressure release auxiliary couplers, that works great. One thing we did well is we have standard auxiliary pressure release. So when you push it on those couplers, it releases the pressure in our system. Really easy to hook up the attachment then.
And so these things just come standard with, like, you order it, this is how you get it.
Yep, that's a great thing. So Canopy, we have two options, a Canopy machine and cab machine, and we really loaded it up with standard features. So that was one of the big things, like our rear view camera. We found within the industry a lot of guys, they get in on it and they realize they need a camera really, so they're aftermarket installing, or they're requesting from the manufacturer to get it installed at the factory. We took that kind of information, we're like, hey, why don't we put it on a standard? That actually populates right through our LCD screen in the cab. That's standard on all the units. And we do have some controls within that that screen as well. You can look up your service intervals. You can adjust your auxiliary hydraulic flow. So if you're running grapples, it feels a little too quick, a little too snappy, you can tone it down a little bit, makes it a little easier to run. So within the joysticks on this machine, so we have hydraulic pilot joysticks. A little different from some of the other competitors out there that might have electric over hydraulic. Electric over hydraulic has some of its perks, but so does hydraulic joysticks as well. So the nice thing about our pilot hydraulic joysticks is they're really snappy, really attentive controls, and we find a lot of operators really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when you're trying to dump a bucket out, you have some sticky material in there, you're able to flick that bucket really easily, get all that material out. Also, when you're grading, doing that fine grading, you have really fine control of the grading. Where electric over hydraulic, you got a little leg in there.
Yeah.
So that's, again, came out with hydraulic controls right away just because we saw, a lot of experienced operators especially really prefer them.
Sounds like y'all have done a lot of like trying to, for that end user, thought through a lot of this stuff and waited on this release to make sure that y'all had all these different things as standard options.
Absolutely. And I know, we kind of came out and started talking about these to the overall market. That's about 2-3 years ago. And again, we generate a lot of excitement for that, but you were just right. Everything from service components to like making sure we have all our dealers stocked with parts really well. That was one of our biggest paramount things. We are a foreign manufacturer. These are coming out of South Korea.
Yeah.
And you do get the questions, hey, do you guys have parts availability? We do. That was one of the biggest things we made sure of when we did this.
Yeah, especially coming out right during the supply chain issues that we've had over the past few years.
Exactly. So even at our own warehouses domestically, we overstock on our critical parts because we know how important it is to these commercial guys to have these parts in stock. So we're overstocking our own warehouses. We're recommending to our dealers, hey, overstock these components. We're making them take a minimum package of parts so they have everything on hand ready for these guys.
That's great. Speaking of the dealers, just so I understand and so other people can expect, how quickly are these going out to dealers now, or what's the expectation for this year?
So we started releasing these in August. They've been starting to hit dealers. I think about 50 units are in the field right now hitting end users. That's just what are in the hands of end users right now, and they're rolling out.
Gotcha. So it's starting to roll out now.
Yep.
Starting to get them
so
out.
I'd say this next year, we're going to go into kind of a full production mode.
Okay.
And one thing that's great, we've continually been beating our own expectations for demand.
Okay.
So it seems month over month, I'm going back, talking with our parent company, talking with our dealers, be like, hey, we need to bump our numbers up. We see a lot more customers than we initially expected, which is fantastic.
Gotcha.
It's telling us we did something right with this unit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say expect a lot more coming from Kioti. We got other things coming out, so we're looking at high flow for these units eventually coming out. We're looking kind of towards the end of 2024 to get that option out for these units.
Okay.
Then we're looking at expanding the portfolio too. Going up a size class, going down a size class.
That was going to be my next question. Yeah. Yep. What more apart from this equipment do y'all have in the future?
So as of right now, just in terms of our loader portfolio, like I said, we're looking at going up a size class, going down a size class, really building out that full line. So when dealers talk to their customers, they're prepared at the end of the day. And the customers, if they want to go to a larger, maybe kind of a forestry machine, that high flow, high horsepower forestry machine, we have it ready for them. So I don't have any dates right now, unfortunately.
No, that's fair enough. I'm interested to know.
It's on our radar. It's something we're working on. Yeah. So excited for the future with that. And then even outside of that, we're looking at building out our construction portfolio, going into different product lines. Maybe even looking at little excavators, maybe a mini track loader. Who knows?
Okay.
Sky's the limit right now.
Awesome. That's awesome. So making it a potentially one-stop shop, to get all of your construction equipment.
Absolutely. We're kind of playing it like we did with the tractors. We really have a full line of the tractors now, going all the way up to HX, that high horsepower, larger machine, all the way going down to some of those consumer-sized tractors, the CKs, the smaller ones. Doing the same thing with construction, building out that full portfolio.
Justin, I appreciate your time sharing about this equipment. I'm definitely excited. That was awesome, trying out that piece of equipment. Got to try out the cutter over there. I was like a kid in a candy store trying that out for the first time. That's really cool. Thank you for that.
Looked fantastic, and you did a good job out there. You made me proud. You made me
All
proud.
right, thanks.
Really appreciate you guys coming out, spend some time with us, trying out the machines. Again, maybe, I'll have to sneak you a key. We can get this unit.
I know.
Who knows?
Can I take this one home with me? We'll talk.
All
right.
Sounds good.
Thanks.